Welcome to angle measure. So there's a little bit of vocabulary we need to talk about beforehand. First thing, what is a ray? So a ray we talked about before starts at one point and goes in one direction forever. The way you name a ray is you draw an arrow, and the first letter has to be the point that it starts at, and the second letter is what it goes through. So it starts at A and goes through B. Opposite rays are two rays that are going to point in opposite directions. So they're going to make a straight line. So it's going to start here in the middle, and one goes this direction and one goes that direction. That is an opposite ray. Angles we're going to talk about in a minute. An angle is made from two rays. The vertex is going to be basically the elbow of it. So that point right there is the vertex of an angle. And we'll talk about the rest in just a minute. So let's start with naming an angle. There's a couple different ways you can name an angle. First, if there is only one angle that has a letter for the vertex, you can call it, for example, angle A. So we could have angle A. We can use these numbers in here, so you can have angle 1. So please notice we draw kind of an acute angle as the angle symbol. Or you can use 3 letters, which is the most preferred method, as in angle A, B, C. This middle letter here has to be the vertex. The middle letter is always the vertex of the angle. If it's not, you've named it wrong. So let me erase that, and let's go ahead and answer the question here. It says, name all angles that have B as a vertex. So if we're looking here, right here is B. It says, name all angles that have B as a vertex. So for example, they made it real nice for me. I have some numbers here. B's a vertex there, and here, and here. So I can use the numbers to name it, and I could say angle 5, and angle 6, and angle 7. But now I want to talk about the angle that's on top here. Remember how I said the middle letter has to be the vertex? So because it said it has a vertex of B, that has to be my middle letter. Now the other two letters, you look at where it starts. So for example, here's A, then goes to B, then goes to G. Or we could also name it angle G, then B, then A. So I'm just going to go ahead and call it angle GBA. And that would be all the angles that have B as a vertex. So next we're going to talk about name the sides, and that's supposed to be of angle 5. Angle 5. So what we want to do, we locate the 5, and we want to name the sides. Well, the sides of an angle are rays. So the ray starts at the vertex and then goes through one of the other sides. So for example, we're going to start at B and then it goes through letter G. So we're going to name it ray BG. And the other side, again, we're starting at B, but this would be the other side of 5. So when we're looking at angle 5, we're looking at the two sides around that 5 for angle 5. So we're going to go ahead and name it ray. Started at B again, but this time it can either go through E or F, and I'm just going to choose E because it goes in that direction. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. Write another name for angle 6. So we're locating angle 6 here. There's angle 6. And we want to locate what letter is in the middle. Well, I see angle B is in the middle, so that has to be my middle letter. Oops. So it's going to be something B something. So if I'm looking here, here is the angle 6, because that goes around the 6. So I see it could start at D, goes to B, and then back through E. So I'm going to go ahead and call this angle DBE. You could also call it EBD, or you can also use FBD. Any of those would be correct. Okay, let's go on. And I have some problems that I want you to take a look at. First, let's see if you can answer this one. Which angle has point X as a vertex? So again, we're looking at X there. Okay. Now let's try this question. Which ray is a side of angle 3? So again, we're looking at angle 3 here. So which one of these three is a side for angle 3? We're going to go ahead and call it A, B, and C. All right. Last one. Which of the following is another name for that's angle 3? So we see angle 3. Which one of these is another correct way to name angle 3? All right. Last thing we need to talk about is our different types of angles. I'm sure you've seen this several times before. So a right angle we know is 90 degrees, but please notice, in order for it to be a 90-degree angle, you have to see that right angle, that a square in there. Acute angle, of course, is less than 90. Obtuse angle is greater than 90. We also have your straight angle, which equals 180. So that is a straight angle. So let's look at how we use a protractor. So we want to measure WYT. So if you look at your protractor, you should see a little dot on it. So if you see down here a little dot, and so that's going to go with the vertex. Please remember the vertex is that middle letter there, the Y. And then the first letter is going to be where you put your 0-degree mark. So we see the W there. I have my 0-degree mark. And then the last letter is going to tell you the degree measure. So if here's T, I'm going to follow out here, and it says 130. Well, because my 0 started on the inside, that means I have to read the inside numbers, so that's why I have 130 degrees. So then, of course, we know a 130-degree angle is an obtuse angle. Let's look at one more of these. Measure TYU. So let's think, where do we line this up? Again, Y is the middle letter, so I put the hole at Y. I line up my 0 at the first letter. So in this case, since T is over here, I'm looking at the 0 on the outside. And then U is my last letter, so that's going to read how many degrees. So since I know I have to read the top numbers, because that's where the 0 is, it reads here at 45 degrees. So then we know a 45-degree angle is an acute angle. Thank you, and please make sure I'm bringing your protractor tomorrow so we can use it and I can make sure you're doing it correctly.